I'm Heyzeus, and in this video, we're going to be looking at the dumbest rare skin hypes in the history of CSGO, sponsored by Skinport, the easy-to-use skins marketplace where you can sell your skins for real cash, more about them later, and I'm also doing a €25 Steam gift card giveaway with VLoot. Link for that is in the description as well. Anyway, in this video, we're going to be putting on the yellow outfit of Captain Hindsight and having a look at some of the times when the hype went a little bit too far and when CSGO players maybe should have known a little bit better. People have made a lot of money off CSGO skins over the years, but occasionally it goes a little bit wrong, and we're going to have a closer look. So the first skin I want to look at is the XM1014 Seasons. This skin was part of the Spectrum case, released in early 2017, and the skin came with an interesting little twist. Hidden in its texture file was a blue leaf, and this would only show up in a limited number of patterns, making it modestly difficult to obtain. Now, on its own, this wouldn't have been that remarkable. It's a very nice skin, don't get me wrong, but it's still only a restricted XM1014, so it's not something you'd expect to get that much attention, or at least it wouldn't have if a certain somebody didn't make a video on it. You see, McSkillet had been listening to the various mutterings in the trading community about whether or not this pattern could actually be worth something, and saw a fertile opportunity to make a video. Now, he wasn't actually a big fan of the pattern. In fact, you could probably call him a skeptic. He didn't really think it had that much going for it. But generally speaking, when you make a video on something, there are always going to be people that don't pay close attention, and this video quickly racked up hundreds of thousands of views. The damage was done. People quickly started buying any blue leaves they could find. The Global Offensive Trade subreddit was flooded with questions about what sort of overpay you could get for this skin. Traders were sniping blue leaves off the market wherever they could, but as quickly as it started, it began to fizzle out. You see, blue leaves have a problem. They're not that rare. The best pattern, the 4-leaf pattern, only appears on 1 in 50 seasons. But here is the problem. There's about 500,000 seasons in existence, and that means there's about 10,000 full blue leaf patterns out there. Now, if this was an AK skin, maybe that would be okay, but this is just a mid-tier shotgun, and very quickly, these things were selling just for the market price. These days, you can still get a little bit of overpay on a good condition stat track blue leaf pattern, but that's about it. I don't know how many people overpaid for this skin back in the day, but one thing's for sure, a whole bunch of them got burnt. Now, the blue leaf hype was one of the best examples of this sort of thing happening, but it wasn't the first. During late 2014, so quite early on in CSGO's lifespan, a similar craze had swept through the community over the Glock Grinder. This time, it seemingly got going without any help from YouTubers, although there were some videos made once things really got going, and for a brief while, forums were flooded with people showing off their Glock Grinder patterns, and the Glock Grinder has quite a few nice looking patterns. It's a good skin, and the most prestigious of all was the full black pattern, and for a little while at least, people were overpaying quite a bit for it. But it didn't last. You see, there wasn't heaps of information about skins in late 2014 and early 2015. We didn't have good databases, it was really hard to keep track of stuff. But as it turned out, there was actually about 60 of these black pearl patterns for Glock Grinders. So that meant at least 6% of all Glock Grinders had this pattern. That is actually fairly common, and it led to the hype fizzling out, particularly when you consider there's now 260,000 Glock Grinders out there, so that's over 15,000 black pearl patterns. So these days you can get a little bit of overpay on a StatTrack factory new, but otherwise they're nothing special, unless you get a very stupid buyer. And this wasn't the only mishap in the Vanguard case either, because the Vanguard case also had a skin called the Griffin, which was made from stolen artwork, which was very quickly DMCA'd by the author. Now, many people expected this to become the next rare contraband skin, and its price went crazy. And funnily enough, I don't think this was an unreasonable reaction, although Valve definitely cucked those people when they just changed the artwork on the skin instead. But there was one guy who allegedly traded his Howl for a Griffin. This wasn't so smart. You see, the Howl was a covert skin before it got banned. The Griffin was a restricted skin. Restricted skins are 25 times more common than covert skins, so even if the Griffin did go contraband, it was never gonna be as expensive as the Howl. So press F for this bloke. I really hope the screenshot was actually fake. And if you want to know more about skins with stolen artwork, there is a link to a video I made on this stuff in the top right of the screen. Now, another dumb hype that I want to briefly touch upon is the Lab Rat hype. So this was a skin that was added when CSGO went free to play and was available for a limited time as a drop for playing Danger Zone. So it was limited edition and it also had unique patterns. Very dingy unique patterns, but still fairly clever in terms of how it was designed. And this started a bit of a craze. People started buying the skin thinking that because it was limited edition, its price would go up after it was discontinued, and people also started buying the rare patterns because, well, they're rare patterns. But it ran into a bit of a problem. You see, every single Prime CSGO player was eligible to get one of these things, and that's about 10 million people. It's a lot of this dingy little rat, and ultimately about 2 million ended up being dropped, which, by the way, meant there was also about 10,000 of the rarest pattern out there. It didn't end well. I've got a video going through it in more detail actually, if you're interested. But what if I said there was a rare pattern out there that actually wasn't a completely stupid hype, that actually did command some overpay, but that everyone thought was stupid? Well, funnily enough, it actually exists. There is a skin in the clutch case called the Moonrise. It's a Glock skin, and it had a special pattern called the star pattern. So on 3.75% of these Glock skins, there will be a star in this spot just here. Now, just like the Blue Leaf, people were running around sniping up whatever skins they could get. Just like the Blue Leaf, McSkillet went and made a video on it, and just like the Blue Leaf, in the months after this, people were bluntly telling everyone who asked for a price check that their star pattern was only worth market price. However, this wasn't necessarily true. People were actually having a fair bit of success selling this skin for overpay. You had to be patient, but it could be done. And people were still doing it as late as 2019. Now, these days, it's probably fairly difficult to pull off. There is nearly 900,000 Moonrises out there, and a star pattern is 3.75% of all Glocks. So that means there's about 30,000 star patterns. So look, it's probably not easy to get overpay for these things anymore, but for once, the hype kind of made sense, mostly. Anyway, I don't know if the guy who wanted $150 on OP skins had much luck, but at least these things actually had something going for them. And having said all of this, there are some rare patterns out there that really don't get the credit they deserve, and some of these skins, honestly, probably deserve a bit of a hype, but never really got it at all. And I'm gonna look at them in an upcoming video. I've got a couple of old videos looking at various rare patterns you might have missed, but I haven't covered any of the real bangers yet, and that'll be coming soon. And in the meantime, if you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, subscribe, massively appreciated. And a big thank you to Skinport for sponsoring this channel. Skinport, formerly known as SkinBay, it's the same site. All that's changed is the name, is a skins marketplace and cash out site. It's safe, convenient, easy to use. It's got a super competitive sales fee of 5% if you put skinport.com in your username, a really, really low fee if you're looking to sell your skins. If you're looking to buy instead, it's got a ton of great deals with over 100,000 CSGO skins listed, as well as easy to use deposit and withdrawal options. Awesome site, check it out, link is in the description. Anyway, that's it from me. As always, trust the numbers, not your guts. I'm Heyzeus. Thanks for watching, see ya.